because
cool.
I don't ever mute mine. I don't. That takes too many efforts.
Too many efforts.
There's too many buttons. I have too many things open at the same time. I can't multitask that well.
Multitasking is hard.
Oh God.
It's so hard.
Welcome.
Hi, friends.
It's episode 14 of
That's
Brunch and
crazy.
Judge.
Yay.
As we talk about gross clear throating. Yes, welcome. Welcome to our episode. We are your hosts. I'm April.
And I'm Claire.
And we're here on this lovely, well, I have a rainy, cloudy day here in my Pacific Northwest joy life. And I heard it's been hot in Kentucky. Is that true?
Dude, oh my gosh. It's like, where did spring go? Spring is gone. It
We
is
haven't
now
had
summer.
spring yet, so it's fine.
It's now summer. No, yesterday it was like 90s. And
My dad.
I walked out to go to lunch and I was like, ew, this is gross. I got in my car and I'm like, ugh, so hot.
My dad called yesterday and was asking, he was like, "Oh, it's 5 o'clock where you are," and I was like, "Yeah, it is. Woo, 5 o'clock here." Um, and he was asking about the weather, and I said, or for the weekend, I said, "Well, I think it's supposed to be a little bit warmer. I think we're finally in like the 60s, but it's supposed to rain this weekend, so it probably won't feel that warm." And
Yeah,
Dad was like, "Oh, it's like 90 degrees here." I was like, "Oh,
yes.
that's hot."
He's
we
he's not
we haven't
wrong.
even made it to 70s yet, guys. It's the
I
magic of the North.
know.
I'm still wearing sweatshirts to work, fleeces, because it's cold.
I know. I
You
miss
need to move
spring.
north, Claire. It's
I
better. It's
miss
better up north.
spring. It is. It's just like I mean, it's not quite to the humid part yet,
Right.
so that part I feel like is still spring, because it's like hot, but it's not so humid, but just it's coming.
It's hot, but
It's
you're
gonna
not
be,
basting in your own juices yet.
yeah, you're not just like when you walk outside and you're like, I literally need gills to breathe this air because there's so much moisture in it. That kind
uh,
it's not quite there yet. So like
that's
in
that's
the
one
mornings
thing.
when I walk out the door to the car, it's refreshing. It's
Mm-hmm.
not, you're like, oh, this is nice. But then when it gets to like, you know, 11, 12 o'clock, you're just like, ew, the sun is so bright and it hurts. It hurts my eyes.
Hmm. No,
That's where we're at.
it's still Pacific Northwest days up here. But
I'm
it's
kind of jealous.
yeah, you should be. It's nice. My hope though, last year we had like hellscape in
Yes,
like
because you were
July, like
like,
July and August.
had
We
your
had
heat
just these
dome.
ridiculous heat domes, and it was like 117 degrees. Now, thankfully, there's not that much humidity here. Um,
Do you all have air conditioning in your house?
yes, but it's not sufficient for 117-degree
Okay.
days
Well, it was
because
just, there are
we're
a
in an
couple of,
area where people don't have like not everybody has air conditioning because it doesn't
that's
usually
what
get that hot.
That's why I
So,
asked, because a couple of the people that I work with at Lane Bryant have lived. One of them is from Washington, and the other one, her husband, was in the military and they were stationed out there. And she said they both were like, "Yeah, it's not that common for houses to really have air conditioning, like AC units, like what we have
mm-hmm.
here." And I'm like, no, if I ever built a house anywhere, it would have air conditioning. I do not care where it is. It could
Yeah.
be at the North Pole and I would still have air conditioning because that's how hot I get.
But so far, so good. We'll hope that the summer isn't too terrible. I mean, again, our house is in a cooler town than where I work, so
Yeah,
there's always like a 10-degree difference between here and there in the summer. Thank God. Blah.
right.
But
But
there's
you
your
don't have,
weekly weather with April and Claire.
that's right.
I feel like we're always like, what's it like where you are?
I know. It's like, hey, April, you remember those humid days? Yeah, that's
Oh,
where it is.
God. Ugh. That's why I don't live in the South. I don't think I can handle the humidity of it all.
Right. It's just like, ew, this is gross. Yuck.
So tell me, Claire, what are you judging this week?
Okay, this is my judge
Mm-hmm.
because it's happened. I feel like I just really noticed it this past week because it's happened at both jobs.
Uh-oh.
It happens all the time, but it was just like I felt like this week was more obnoxious than normal. I'm judging people who have full-fledged conversations on their phone, but it's on speakerphone.
Oh my god, I hate that.
So you can hear all of it. It's like you're sitting there, you're just like, ma'am, I do not need to know that your daughter is giving her dog a bath in your bathtub and you were mad at her about it and you were threatening her with bodily harm if she doesn't get her dog out of your bathtub.
Wow. Wow, that's a
Like
very
that was
specific conversation that was had.
it was just like, I mean, it was so loud, so loud. Like that's the one that I was just like, what is going on right now? It's just like, you know, and people come in or, either place and you get phone calls and it's just like they're on speaker and you hear somebody on the other end being like, where you at? What you doing? It's just like, good grief. Keeping tabs much? Like, come on.
Well, and also like I can understand maybe if you were already on a phone call and you come inside and you stay on the phone call, not speakerphone. I can never understand that.
Yes.
What I don't
Right,
understand is
exactly.
like calling someone or talking like once you're in the store. Like, why are you calling anybody? What are you doing? Stop it.
Right.
Just
No, there have been
text them.
times,
Text them.
yeah, but there have been times when like people come in and they want somebody to see something that they've tried on and they send a
Right.
text and they'll call them and be like, hey, I sent you a text of what this outfit I found. I feel like that's different
Mm-hmm.
because that's like
Although
pertinent to what the shopping
I
the
argue
shopping spree
if
that
you
they're
sent
on.
them a picture of the text and then you can just text them. You don't have to call
But
them. Yeah.
it's like one of those where they're not paying attention and they didn't respond fast enough. So it's like, oh, well, they didn't respond immediately, so I'm gonna call them. But
Wow. Try some
yeah,
patience. Good God.
yes, definitely. But
But
yeah,
I,
that
I
was
live in
the
a world where if I never had to call another person again, I'd be fine with that. If I could just text everybody,
right.
occasional video call, it's fine. I'm done.
It's fine. But yeah, it's just like it's happened a lot this week, and I was thinking, this is crazy. Why do you want everybody to hear these phone conversations that you're having?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Now, a lot of people, if they're in line and they get a phone call, they'll be like, "Hey, let me call you back.
Right?
I'm in line. I'm checking out. I'll be done in like 5 minutes. Let me call you back." That's fine. But
Mm-hmm.
then when somebody calls them, and even if it's not on speakerphone, they get in this full-fledged conversation while you're trying to tell them how much they owe, how to work pin pad because some people don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of junk, but they're not really paying attention to you
Because they're on the
because
phone.
they're
Yeah.
on the phone. Yeah. Or the people who
Yeah.
come in with the little like Bluetooth thing in their ear
And I love
and
playing the
they're
game of
talking.
are they talking to someone or are
Exactly.
they nuts? It's like I don't
Exactly.
know which one it is.
100%. It's like, are they having a conversation with themselves?
Nah.
Oh, there's the Bluetooth thing. I see it. Okay. All right. We're okay. It's fine. It's one of those. But mostly the speakerphone one. That was what I heard this week. It was just kind of like, wow. Or they'll sit there and talk about their dinner plans.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, can you not wait 5 minutes till you get out of the store?
No, no, Claire, they cannot.
Apparently.
They cannot. It's very important to them that they figure it out right then and there while they're also interacting with you. Mm-hmm.
Apparently. It's maddening.
Yes, I
It,
hate
it's
that
it's
too.
and in a way it's rude. It's just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Text them, I'll call you back. Or, if you pick up, just be like, hey, I'm doing something right now. Let me call you back in like 5-10 minutes. It's fine. I mean, if it's an emergency, that's different. But nothing that I've heard this week has been an emergency. I know that lady thought the dog in her bathtub qualified as an emergency,
I
but I really
mean,
don't think it did.
it's like you could just Clorox wipe that tub out. You're fine. It's
I
gonna be
know.
fine. It's not a big deal.
I mean, she was getting really like
Get your
perturbed
dog
about it.
out of my tub. That's my
It was,
tub.
yeah,
I don't
basically.
know you.
So you weren't even there, and you basically already know what the conversation was.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's my judge.
It's the magic of the public. I'm familiar with all of the weird public things.
Right.
uh,
So what are you judging this week?
I've gone back and forth about what I'm judging this week because
Mm,
it's been a week. It was not the
been a
cards
week.
were not correct. I did not have a good week.
Oh, I'm
I mean, it wasn't
sorry.
bad or anything, just not not great. It's fine.
Right.
Um, but most of the things that were irritating are work related and not conducive to podcast life.
Gotcha.
So there's
I
that.
totally understand that.
Um, so I guess really what I want to judge today, and I don't remember the names, so don't at me. I would like to judge the ridiculous story from South Carolina, because it was South Carolina, it always is, in which a 60-year-old man died of a heart attack while burying the body of his
I saw that briefly.
partner, girlfriend. It was so bizarre.
Something, yeah.
But it is one of those ridiculous stories that make you just go, what the hell? What in the actual hell is happening? Um, it's
I saw
it's
the
a sad
headline. I
story,
didn't
but
get
it's
to
also bizarrely a
like
feel good
what?
story because you're like, thank you, karma. But
Like
essentially,
that was almost like instant karma
yeah.
right there. That
So
was
for those who don't know, which I don't know how, I've seen it at least 5 different places. But if you don't know, I'm here for you because and just don't have their names because I don't remember. But so it was a situation in which a man was living with his girlfriend, partner, etc. And apparently they must have had an argument or something happened and he strangled her, dug a hole in the backyard, and was in the process of burying her when he had a heart attack and died. Which
mm-hmm.
I imagine that murdering someone and then trying to hide the body is stressful and could cause a cardiac event. So there's a warning there somewhere.
How
But
old was he?
also, the thing that was bizarre to me is that a neighbor or some random passerby saw him lying unresponsive in his backyard, I guess. And so they called 911. 911 came, they took him, he was pronounced dead. And it was because the police had gone into the house to figure out how to notify next of kin that they found her wallet
Mm.
and found out that she had not reported like her job, like she hadn't gone to
She was
work, which was
missing.
unusual. Um, that made them go look in the large hole that had been dug that he'd been and just the fact that they didn't look inside the hole, I'm like, who what do you think is happening? So I mean, inside her
I mean, if he's
body
laying
was
there
there.
with a shovel,
Yeah, he's laying there with a shovel, and
I mean, what do you think is
he
going
had
on?
obviously filled it in enough that it wasn't obvious that her body was there, but
Yeah.
also it's a body
Like,
sized
why is this
hole,
man
guys.
digging a giant hole in his
Mm-hmm.
backyard? Like, I'm sure it was probably in the middle somewhere. Probably didn't look like it was gonna be a flower bed or
But
anything.
I mean, like, so it's super sad, like for her family. Her sister, I think was the person that I read about. She's obviously super upset. It's traumatic. Her family
Yes.
member is gone, but there's so many lessons here. One, don't kill people. That should be number one. Don't do that. Don't go
Well,
murdering.
and how old was he? Did
He
you
was
say?
60 and she was 65.
Okay, so I'm sure this goes in the same vein.
Mm-hmm.
There was an there was something that came out back in the winter that said if you were over the age of I think 55,
Mm-hmm.
50 or 55, you didn't need to shovel snow in your driveway because it like upped your chance of a
Right.
heart attack by like X amount percent. So I think that probably also goes for digging shovels
You
in or
should you should
taking a shovel and
extrapolate.
digging a hole in your backyard in the spring/summer.
But
So
I'm
he
also
was he didn't pay attention.
I'm over here like I'm appreciating karma here for just going ahead and knocking him down because thank you.
Right.
It just makes it easier for everybody. But two, he absolutely would have been caught in 2.5. You do not bury the body in your backyard. What are you thinking? What I mean, obviously,
This
they didn't
man
look until they thought they needed to look, so maybe he would have gotten away with it. Because what the hell ever? But
But also, this man has not watched any Dateline episodes, and it
No,
shows.
no.
I mean, 100%.
You gotta watch those Dateline episodes, guys. You gotta keep on, because otherwise you're gonna make rookie mistakes, like trying to dig a hole when you're over the age of 55 and it kills you, and then you're caught.
And you die.
And, karma. But it's just like, it's just a ridiculous story that popped up everywhere, and I'm like, I mean, heartbroken for the family. It sucks. It's 100% awful. But also feeling like I need karma. Come on, karma.
Right.
Like,
yes.
I need that to
100%.
be real in the universe somehow.
Well, this almost feels like when you read a headline, it almost feels like it's an Onion article or something.
It feels like it's not real.
Right.
And especially when I was reading it, and it's like, well, they didn't notice the body when the ambulance came for the guy. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what in the actual hell? It's a human-sized hole in the ground with a pile of dirt next to it and loose dirt on top. One can extrapolate by looking at that. There's something underneath. Maybe we should look.
Even if he hadn't killed her, let's just say he was digging a hole.
You should still look. You would
think, exactly. Like, even if he was digging the hole for a dead pet or something like that, you think they would at least like move the dirt around to see why was this man digging this giant hole in his backyard?
Yeah, I mean, obviously first responders' first goal is to try and save him, yada yada.
Yes,
but
yes.
It shouldn't have taken them finding, like, they should have reported, hey, there's a big hole there. You might want to check it out.
Right. Like, I know that's not the paramedic's job.
No, but
to investigate that kind of stuff. But yeah, they should have.
Guys, Nancy drew the shit out of this stuff, guys. You can do it.
Right.
You can be like, there was a big hole that looked a little hinky,
Yeah. Looks suspicious.
Maybe send some of your cop friends out to just go do a little check. Little, little neighborhood watch. Caring about the community and yada yada. That's all. So that's my judge.
Right. I love that judge. That was, yes. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. I won't lie, it brought me joy this week. Every time I saw the story, I would just read. They were little short articles because there's not a whole lot of information yet, obviously. And I was just like, God. Sometimes I'm just sometimes I just love humanity, and I'm like, yeah, okay. This is
right there. Like, just gonna shake my head on this one and move on.
And I'm kind of like, if only that were the outcome of everyone who murdered their girlfriend or whatever, boyfriend, person, neighbor,
if you could have
immediate karma to be like,
yes, immediate. Karma wasted no time on that one.
No, thank you, universe. I appreciate that. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
And he probably wouldn't have done super well in prison, so maybe it's better for everybody in this case. You don't have to go to court. You don't have to go through that
waste
trauma.
Those tax dollars. Yeah.
Thanks, karma.
No need to waste the tax dollars of the time. Don't need to pull people away from their jobs to do jury duty. It's fine. Well, that was great.
Thank you. Well, this week, our topic is cereal.
Yay! Everybody's favorite breakfast item.
Okay, now, as a child, I think Lucky Charms was my favorite until I was sick one day as a child, and I kept telling my mom that I felt bad or that something felt wrong, but I was in a good, friendly mood, and Mom's like, you're fine. This is one of those weird moments of life that I specifically remember, and I'm sure she doesn't at all, because it doesn't rank in anything. But I remember being like, no, I don't really feel right. And Mom's like, you're fine. I'm probably like 9 or 10. I'm still a kid. And so I'm eating my Lucky Charms, and then I did the very kid thing of just like throwing up on the table. It's like, I told you I wasn't feeling well. And my mom was like, all right, you're sick, go away,
Go to your room and stay there. Don't contaminate the rest of the house.
uh, I mean, I don't remember any part else. I don't think I was ever like
Right.
super sick from that, but like I wasn't well, and I threw up my Lucky Charms. I didn't eat them for a little while after
Right.
that.
It always happens.
But now my favorite cereal, because I'm still a child, is Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries
Ooh.
because it's perfect, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. I love it. It's my favorite. I mean, I eat grown-up cereal as a grown-up,
Oh
but I
yeah.
still buy Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries every once in a while. You need that.
I enjoy some cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh, that is so good. I love it dry. Like you can just eat it,
Yes,
and I'm
that's
like,
really the only way I eat it
mm-hmm,
is dry. Or or when I was in college,
mm-hmm.
you go to the soft serve ice cream machine,
Oh,
put in
nice.
some soft serve ice cream, and put some cinnamon toast crunch on top. So it was like
Yeah,
just a
Claire,
bowl of cereal, but extra.
you were an influencer before that was even a thing, because like people didn't put ice cream on cereal until like mid aughts maybe. So we like you started that. Good job, Claire.
Oh, I did. I did. It was me. All me.
Well, today I have brought you some interesting information about specific cereals because I know what you're
Yay.
doing and I didn't want to touch that. So there might be
Be glad you didn't.
a couple of little things that may be part of yours, but mine are just very small, minute things. So
Okay. Oh no, no, no. Be glad you didn't touch mine because yeah, I'm terrified now.
so I will tell you that I got all of my information from Smithsonian Magazine,
Ooh,
listverse.com, and businessinsider.com.
cool.
So the first cereal I'm going to talk about is Frankenberry.
I can dig some Frankenberry.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been a
yeah,
hot minute since I've had it, but
I love the Halloween seasonal
yes.
cereals. They're fun. We haven't we occasionally buy one because we're children deep down
Yeah.
inside. Count
Right.
Chocula is by far the best. I'm sorry, it just is. I don't.
Yes.
There's just no contest. It's whatever.
Right.
But Frankenberry first came out in 1971. Yay!
Has it been?
I
Oh,
know.
well, I didn't.
So isn't that crazy?
I feel like a lot of these cereals came out
Way
way
before we did.
earlier than what I
Yeah.
initially thought. So,
So another weird thing that happened in 1971 is that there were hundreds of kids all across America that were pooping pink. And so concerned
okay.
mothers were taking
Mhm.
these kids to the hospital to have fecal testing done because they were concerned about internal bleeding. I mean,
I mean, that's fair.
that's fair. My
That's
kid has
fair.
pink poop. I mean, probably there's some internal bleeding,
Right.
but time and time again, they couldn't find anything wrong with these kids. Everything seemed to be fine. They felt fine. They couldn't find anything wrong with them. Um, but 1971, as I said, was the same year that General Mills released Count Chocula, woohoo, and Frankenberry.
Yes.
So Frankenberry, interestingly, used past tense because 70s, used
Yes.
red number 2 and 3, which is also known as amaranth, which is named after the plant but is not related to the plant because these are synthetically made food colorings.
Gotcha.
But the red number 2 and 3 can't be broken down or absorbed by the body.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So a case study came out in the Pediatrics Journal in which they described a 12-year-old hospitalized because he had pink poop that, as they said in their case study, looked like strawberry ice cream. So that's disturbing.
Oh gosh.
Can't have strawberry ice cream anymore. Thanks, guys.
That's
Apparently,
awful.
the child had Frankenberry for breakfast 2 days in a row. And so the
Just 2
doctors
days in a row.
the doctors decided to do an experiment because the kid seemed fine. Like his tests were fine. There's nothing wrong with
Otherwise.
him.
Yes.
So they did an experiment and they fed him 4 bowls of Frankenberry in a day.
Oh, good lord.
And
That's a
for
lot of Frankenberry
and
cereal.
for the next 2 days, he had strawberry ice cream, pink stool. So they're like, ah, there it is. So it was the
Okay,
red dyes in Frankenberry that caused kids to poop pink.
because your body can't break it down. That's fantastic.
The very next year, 1972, Boo Berry debuted,
Blueberry.
and it uses the coloring blue number 1, which is currently banned in Norway, Finland, and France. And it
That
also
sounds about
turned the
right.
stool colors, but blue and brown apparently make green. So, green stool.
Yay.
But it wasn't just them. Another one, 1982, Smurf Berry Crunch cereal, also turned poop
Smurfberry.
blue. So, all those food colorings, man, gotta be careful. I will say a lot of these food colorings are not, like the red ones, they're not allowed anymore due to a weird Russian study that they couldn't actually prove was accurate, but just out of precaution, the FDA banned red food coloring number 3, 2, I don't know. So,
Gotcha.
um, I don't know.
And now we know, thanks to our little vampire episode, that everything else that's red, if it's naturally using natural
If it's
colors,
naturally colored, it's bugs. You're welcome.
yes. Coach Chanel.
Everybody loves the bugs.
That's right.
Okay, moving on to
Yes.
Rice Krispies.
I do love a good Rice Krispie treat. I'm not gonna lie. Like homemade.
Mm-hmm.
The prepackaged ones are meh.
Yeah,
Homemade
it's
Rice
you
Krispie
need
treats are the bomb.
the freshness of the butter and the marshmallow, and
Right.
yeah, I'm with you.
Right. I don't need any of that preservative stuff that keeps it fresh.
So in 1901, botanist Alexander Pierre Anderson, because they have to have 3 names,
Mm-hmm.
wondered what would happen when starch granules were put into high heat. I mean, that's what
Okay.
normal people wonder, I suppose.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
his
I lose
theory,
sleep at night over that.
right? His his theory was that the water inside would steam and cause small explosions. Why are you doing this, phone? Sorry. I said something that my phone interpreted as theory.
Ah.
Yeah. But he theorized that the water inside would steam and cause small explosions that would puff up the starch. And he
Okay.
was right. How about that?
Yay.
So he was like, look at me, I'm right. Woo. So he then used a gas pipe and a sledgehammer to form a gun-like device in order to simplify the process. And he took it to the World's Fair in 1904, and Quaker Oats saw it and was like, I like this. This looks like a thing we can do. And so Quaker Oats packaged and sold the puff rice granules, and they marketed it as food shot from guns based on that device that he made. It's food shot from guns. Can you imagine? That's so
That's
ridiculous.
crazy. Who comes up with these marketing
I
ploys?
know. Kellogg's eventually adapted that idea and that process and turned it into Rice Krispies as we know it. Are you ready for a fun
Yay.
fact?
Yes.
Fun fact number 1. Snap, Crackle, and Pop had a brother.
What?
His name, Pow. P-O-W.
Pow.
So, Pow only
Snap.
appeared in like 2 or 3 commercials in 1950 and then missed. But there was a brother, Snap, Crackle, Pop, and Pow.
Interesting.
I'm like, oh, okay. I sent you
I
some
feel
pictures.
I feel like the 3 names does better.
Yes. I sent you some pictures. Did you get the pictures?
Yes, I did.
So there is supposed to be a Rice Krispie one. Yeah, it's black and white, and you can see that there's 4, and there's this weird one that says Pow.
Aha. Interesting. Ian's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like it. I think it's a he. It's a brother. He looks much different than the other three to me. I can't really explain why.
Yeah. Hmm.
So,
Like, what is?
hmm.
Yeah, that's weird. Very bizarre.
Mm? Mm. So, are you ready
Okay.
for story number 3?
Yes.
This is shredded wheat. Yummy.
Shredded wheat.
Mm-hmm.
I like the frosted shredded wheat.
Same. I also like the filled shredded wheat that have like the little bit of wild berry or strawberry inside.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I
Yes.
just want to eat it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't need
That's
milk.
good stuff.
I don't need milk. I just eat that.
Nope. Just a lot of cereal I like to just eat dry. I don't need milk in any of it.
I think that's why I like Captain Crunch is that it authentically is better in milk. Like
Okay,
it
gotcha. Like
is
it's a good.
the milk
Can I tell you
makes it
one?
better.
Mine that milk makes better.
Hmm.
Reese's cereal.
Oh, Spencer loves that. Yeah, that's good. That's
Yes.
good stuff.
I feel like eating it dry, it's okay, but like something about the milk with the chocolate and peanut butter taste is just, it's excellent.
Hmm.
I do like milk in that cereal.
Yeah, yeah, gotta have it.
But yes, shredded wheat.
Shredded wheat. Okay, 1890. Henry Perky Shaw. Henry Perky. I love his name. Perky.
Perky.
He
Okay.
saw a diner at a hotel eating blended wheat with cream, which sounds disgusting, by the way.
Yes. That
Apparently,
doesn't sound appetizing at all.
yeah. Apparently, this diner had gastrointestinal issues, and that's why he was eating it. I'm not really sure. That
Ah.
feels like the exact opposite, gluten and dairy, but whatever.
Also
You
because
do you. You do you.
wheat's kind of sharp, right?
Yeah.
Like it's got edges. I would feel like that would, if you didn't digest it totally, I just,
I'm wondering if it was like kind of like a cream of wheat, like that oatmeal kind of thing.
Oh no, that would be different if that was the case.
I mean, like
Yes.
I don't have any idea whatsoever, but
Yes.
that seems more logical. I don't know. Dude was eating it in the hotel.
Gotcha.
But so Perky was like, "Hey, I've got an idea." So he heads up to his friend William Henry Ford.
Hey, bestie.
And they make a machine that presses wheat into strips woven into pillow-like biscuits. So shredded wheat, like we understand it.
Yes.
And they decided to market it to vegetarian restaurants, which I didn't realize existed in the early 1900s. So cool.
That would make a lot of sense since my story.
Hmm.
Because, like, real just quick, my story has a lot of Seventh day Adventist religion in
Yeah.
it. And they are big on vegetarianism.
Oh, cool. I like that.
So if that was like big in that area, that might have been why. So that might be an explanation for why.
Cool. Well, I will tell you that they marketed it to vegetarian restaurants thinking it would be effective as soup croutons, and I don't really understand that because a crouton isn't meat filled anyway. So I'm like,
No.
but I don't. Whatever. It was weird. It was a weird aside. I was like, it's a crouton for your soup, and it's vegetarian.
That just sounds weird.
I don't want my shredded wheat in my soup. That's not what I want. I don't want that.
I don't know why that just sounds weird.
It sounds really stupid and weird.
Oh,
but
geez.
whatever. So moving on to Cheerios.
I do like a good bowl of Cheerios.
So there were several shapes that were tested into focus groups when Cheerios came out. They tried it as a sphere, like just a ball shape, like a Kix.
Kind of like the puff. Mm-hmm. Like a puff. Okay.
They tried 6-pointed stars. They tried 5-pointed stars. They tried 4-pointed stars. They tried 3-pointed stars.
Okay.
They tried the donut shape. They tried a dumbbell shape.
That seems extra.
They tried a spiral shape. And
they try to make a noodle?
A square shape.
Okay.
And the
That seems excessive, all
donut
those
shape one,
shapes.
I know, right? Like all the star shapes, 6, 5, 4, 3. I'm like, what are you doing?
What's happening? Yes.
So then the donut shape one, as we know.
Yes.
And originally, when they started selling it, it was Cheery Oats because it's made out of
Gotcha.
oats stuff.
Yeah.
But Quaker Oats was like, absolutely not. We're suing the crap out of you. No, 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 no. Oats are our things.
Nobody can have oats in their name but us.
That's right. So then they were re-released as Cheerios, as we know them.
Cheerios.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Cheery oats.
Yeah, this is where I feel like we might touch a little bit on yours.
Okay.
So the next one is Chex.
Chex Mix.
To me, Chex Mix is meant for flavors, like the cheesy Chex Mix.
Yes.
I don't enjoy eating just Chex as a cereal.
Right.
Oh,
I feel like
whatever.
you could do Chex is one of those that you can do sweet or savory.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've got the Chex Mix. It's like the truffle stuff that's got the chocolate junk in it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's good. But then you get the cheesy
I
ones with all
love
the little like pretzels, and
I
yes,
love the
I love
cheesy
that one
one. It's my
too.
favorite. It's the
So I
best
feel like Chex Mix is pretty
one.
versatile.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, so Chex Mix was created by William Danforth and Webster Edgerly. They were the owners of the Ralston Purina Company, which started off as a pet food company. I mean, Purina, we know that still.
Purina, right?
Edgerly was nuts
Okay.
and was into Ralstonism, which was a cult like social movement that believed in a proper diet, which is a little
Okay.
bit Kelloggy in my memory.
Yeah.
It was also
Uh-huh.
incredibly into racial supremacy, as
Shock
all good cults
surprise.
are, you know. Um,
Shocked Pikachu face over here.
and so Edgerly advocated for castration of all non-white people.
Of course
Of course he
he
did.
did.
But also, just bizarre, he believed that watermelon were toxic to Caucasians. I don't know why. I
What?
don't know why. It's just a weird little aside. It's like, the fuck? It's watermelon.
Okay.
So,
Does he not know how bodies work? I mean,
no.
I feel like one thing that's going to be toxic to one race is going to be toxic to all races.
Well,
I don't understand people who think this way.
to be fair, this was also early 1900s.
That's true. That is true.
But anyway, just little.
Science was not as progressed as we needed it to be.
Ralstonism sounds like a really super amazing cult to dive into one of these days. But
Right. Hey,
it's like,
Cults is on
I
the
know.
wheel.
I'm ready. Actually, I have
It's
one
on
for
the
cult,
wheel.
so I'm excited to do
Yes.
cult several times. But Ralstonism
I
is
started to say,
definitely on my
yeah,
list because I
Cult is
was.
staying on the wheel because there are so many.
But I just reading this little bit, I was like, the hell?
Yeah.
All right. So
He does sound. He sounds like he could get along well with Kellogg. That's all I gotta say.
Danforth and Edgerly made a cereal of bite-sized squares of shredded wheat, which eventually became Chex as we know it. So
Cool.
there you go. So it sounds. It made me go, dude. Is Purina still okay? Can I still buy that? Are they still nuts? I don't know.
Right.
Such a weird. Watermelon is poisonous to all Caucasians. I'm like, okay.
What?
Nah. It's literally just
Yeah,
water.
no.
That's all it is. Water.
Right. I know.
All right. Lucky Charms.
Your
It is
fave.
my fave. Do you know how it was developed, invented, etc., etc.?
No.
Somebody had Cheerios at home, and they also had circus peanuts at home, and they ate them together.
Ew. Circus peanuts are gross.
I know, that sounds disgusting. Originally, the shapes were all very simplistic shapes. Like now they're all
yeah.
like hearts. Actually, I can name them: hearts, stars, horseshoes, clovers, and blue moons. Pots of gold and rainbows, and me red balloons. That's how
Woo!
hardcore
Look
I
at you.
was into Lucky Charms. But they were all more simplistic shapes. So hearts and like a basic star shape and, super
Yeah.
simplistic. And they were developed because charm bracelets were like super fashionable at the time. Everybody was into getting charms, and so that's where it came from.
Okay.
And also,
Nice.
weird random fact, there was a short period of time in which only in New England, Lucky the Leprechaun was not the mascot for Lucky Charms. It was a
What?
wizard named Waldo, I think.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. Just a random, like, but why? But then they were like, nah, like, well, let's go back to leprechauns. So
I mean, you said call it Lucky
I don't know.
Charms. I guess the charm thing could be wizardry, but I'm more, yeah, I feel like more leprechaun than wizard at that
Yeah,
point.
it was just like a weird blip in their timeline. I was like, okay, whatever.
A wizard named Waldo. Well,
Are you ready for a
that's
weird
weird.
fun fact number 2?
Yes.
There are lots of cereals that have iron in them, and a lot that are fortified with iron. Did you know that?
I think so because mom was telling me she went to some, this was several years ago, went to some kind of teaching
And they're
seminar and
magnetic. Yes.
yes.
That's what I was going to. It's
And
like,
they were talking,
you can attract cereal with a magnet because of the iron.
yeah,
And you're like, the hell?
right.
That's
But
creepy.
she was telling me that the way that they do it is because if they left it as is, cereal would have an extremely short shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, how they process it, they take all the nutrients out, get it the way they want it, and then they put them back in at the
Mm-hmm.
end. And but it's more chemically, and they, like you said, they add iron and stuff like that to it. So it will have a longer shelf life. But I'm just like, that just seems counterproductive. Like we're gonna take it out, but then we're gonna put it back in. Kind of like orange juice.
Yeah.
It's like, what? This seems dumb.
All right. So now we're going to move on to my weird cereals section.
Okay, because I was wondering, because some of these pictures you sent me, I'm just like,
Yes.
what in the fresh hell
So
is this?
there are some weird cereals. The first one
Yeah.
are OKs.
I don't know that I've ever heard of
Well,
that.
because who wants to eat okay cereal? It's okay. I mean,
Right?
what a terrible marketing thought.
I know.
Basically, it's just Cheerios that have K shapes as
Okay, that's
well.
what I was like.
hmm
Yeah.
But what was weird is that like they had this series of weirdly muscular characters on their cereal boxes that
Yes,
like when you
that's
look
what
at
it
them,
was.
it's like they just want to give you like a fist bump. I'm like, the hell is this? Like fist
Right.
bump.
Like this one that you sent me was basically the brawny guy on the front of the
Well, but
cereal. I'm
he's
just like, what
he's
is
obviously
this?
Scottish. He's got his like tartan thing around him, and I'm like, the hell?
Right.
What are you doing? I'm pretty sure that's our
Right. It's
tartan
just
too. That blue and green that looks like the Keith tartan.
right.
I'm like, we don't do this. This is weird. But eventually, OK's morphed into several incarnations later. Eventually became Fruit Loops,
Okay.
which even though you want to believe that the different colors have different flavors, they don't.
Right.
They don't.
No.
They're all the same flavor. Sorry.
Right.
All right,
They're just sweet.
moving on to the next weird cereal: Corn Flakes with instant bananas.
Yeah, I see that.
Uh-huh.
I'm just
So
mm.
basically, it was freeze-dried slices of bananas in your cornflakes, and they
Mhm.
have you can see on the cover on the cereal
Yes.
box, they have this weird, creepy banana-looking mascot dude.
I want to
That's
know who came up with that.
terrifying looking. His
It
his
is
his name is Pronto.
Pronto.
Because just add milk and presto, real banana slices. So they're, I guess, really fast. Pronto. I don't
Pronto.
know, stupid.
That's dumb.
But
Who thought of that?
someone who should have been fired. Uh,
Yes, 100%.
but the problem was is that even though they were freeze dried, the bananas turned brown in the milk, and they were disgusting. Like they were mushy, gross,
Oh,
disgusting things, and everybody hated them. So it didn't last
mm,
very long.
gotcha.
So the next one I would like to refer to as a nightmare in a box. It's
When you sent me that and I opened it, I was like, "What?"
it's
That's the one I was like, "What the fresh hell is that?"
it's
Who
called
thought that that mascot was okay?
Sugar Crinkles with this terrifying clown mascot. I mean the box is terrifying all on its own. But there's this
Yes.
ad and I'm going to show it to you, Claire. I mean, I've included like a screenshot of his face
Yes.
because it's terrifying, but I need you to have the same nightmare. So, do
Oh,
do do do.
thanks.
Yeah, hey, you know how I am. You have to share my nightmares. Sugar Crinkles
I
cereal.
mean, this clown looks like. I mean, even Killer Clowns from Outer Space is not that terrifying. What? What?
Hey from Crinkles, that's me. The best breakfast under the big top is post-sugar rice Crinkles. So crinkly, so delicious, so different. Each grain of rice in sugar rice Crinkles is crinkled with honey and sugar. It's
Oh
so
no.
good, I crinkle every time I eat it.
Oh, stop.
Yet, no matter what other rice cereal you've ever tried, you'll love post-sugar rice Crinkles best of all. Honey and sugar make it different and wonderful. A circus of fun to eat. So you crinkle on down to the store for post-sugar rice Crinkles, the greatest cereal treat on earth.
I mean, I feel like that is where they got the
For
costume
it.
idea for the original It.
Yes.
That right
Yes.
there was.
Oh God. Well, and
I
I'm gonna be
mean,
honest. The thing that creeps me out, the beginning creeps me out because he's like his head thing. You burst through
yes.
some paper, and you're like, "The hell is
Yes.
happening here? I don't understand."
Right.
That's terrifying. But the next thing that terrifies me is when he's like, "Sugar Crinkles." Or it's something about crinkles, and he's like, "That's me." And he does this weird little, and I'm like,
Yes. I know.
don't. I'm just
Oh, it's so
so
creepy.
nightmare
It's
inducing.
so creepy.
I'm just like, well, and like when you guys look at this, I'm gonna post this. You're gonna see this. The cover of the cereal box, even beyond
Right.
that terrifying commercial, because hopefully most kids didn't watch that nightmare. But if I were
Right.
walking down an aisle as a child and this was the cereal box that I
Right.
saw, I would run screaming away. I mean, it's like,
I'd be like, that box is haunted by Satan or something.
it's ugh.
I mean, psychotic.
Ugh.
The picture on the cereal box looks so psychotic. Oh my gosh.
Oi, oi. So
That's
it didn't make it, guys. It didn't make it. It did
obviously.
not survive. Blah. The next
Thank
one,
you, Jesus,
equally
because that was.
bizarre, but not quite as terrifying, was a cereal called Freakies.
I've never heard of that.
So if Freakies had 7 woodland, quote unquote, woodland creatures
Right.
that are also these terrifying things, and like you should absolutely go look at some of the YouTube commercials for this thing, because I'm like, one is terrible animation because it's old, so it's hard to see, but they're all, none of them are,
Snorkel Dwarf.
they all look like, you know, I have a little stuffed microbe. It's of mad cow disease. Like it's fluffy or whatever.
Yes.
But they all look like
Yes.
they're microbes. Like they're things that
Yes.
cause diseases is what these things look like. They don't look cute. They're not cuddly. They're quite grotesque.
And they have names like Snorkel Dwarf.
Yes. Snorkeldorf.
Does that say Cow Mumble? None of these are like even endearing. Gargle. Is that what?
But so like it's weird because like it has them hanging out in a tree as though they're quote unquote woodland creatures, but they're not
Right.
fluffy or furry, or I wouldn't want to touch any of them, let alone stick them in my mouth. So
Like they all look like they have boils all over their body.
Yes.
That's disgusting. Oh, but hey, this said there was a free comic book inside. Yay.
Mm-hmm. The first 4 volumes of the history of the Freakies are now available in paperback. Yay! So, Ugh.
Who comes up with this stuff? And what's bad is it's like the cereal just looks like Cheerios or
Yeah.
Honey Smacks or one of. I mean, none of it's like new.
No, it's just
It
it's just a
all
weird.
looks
It's
like
just weird, terrifying mascots.
yes, it's like it's all just been rehashed
Mhm.
and we've changed the name, made a new character to represent it, and ta-da!
Ta-da!
But it's really not new.
All right, so moving on to the Dinosaurs.
Yes.
Uh,
I'm kind of sad I missed this one because this one looks fun.
Dinosaurs were dinosaur-shaped cereals in different colors. So Fruit Loops, kind of, but with dinosaur shapes.
Dinosaurs. Yeah.
So I saw the commercial for this, and basically it's cartoon dinosaurs who work in a diner, and it's all cartoon, but they're serving real human kids breakfast. So there's like 4 kids sitting at a diner table, and the cartoon dinosaurs are handing them bowls of Dinosaurs cereal, and they're of course being like,
Wow.
"This is amazing, huh?" You know, it's very, very classic. You know, which here's my thing. I don't know who they think they are, but Claire, if you're going to a diner, are you ordering cereal? No.
Yeah, no.
You're ordering hash browns, damn it, because it's the reason you go to a diner is to eat the freaking hash browns. Yeah.
Right.
But whatever. That's just
and
my
maybe
side.
some biscuits and gravy.
There
okay.
you go. Mm-hmm. Some eggs, maybe. Pancakes.
Definitely some bacon or something.
Right? I mean, it's not dinosaur-shaped cereal. But unfortunately, Dinosaurs was an already trademarked name that a restaurant had.
Really?
So they sued the crap out of them and won, and Dinosaurs disappeared from shelves. So, bye.
It's kind of a tragedy.
And I leave you with one last weird fact. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
So in 1907, Kellogg had an ad trying to promote cornflakes.
Mm-hmm.
In Kellogg's ad, it was for, obviously the housewives, because they're the ones who do the grocery shopping. It's 1907.
Yes.
And it was, wink at your grocer and see what you get.
How cringy is that? That is so cringy.
Essentially, it was, if you wink at the grocer, they'll give you like a free box or a free sample of cornflakes. I'm going, ew. Ew.
You gotta flirt with your grocer? No.
Mm-mm.
No. No, sir.
So I was like, well, that's disgusting. So, like most things, most cereal things are quite disgusting. But that is my weird selection of bizarre cereals, their history, and the ones that didn't make it because they have terrifying clowns as their mascot. My God.
Right.
My God.
That's
Ka-wrinkles. What
disgusting.
was the deal with the ka-wrinkles? Sugar ka-wrinkles? That's...
No. It's just, yeah. I feel like that's where they got the costume idea for it. Because that's exactly what that clown reminded me of.
Ugh, nightmare. Nightmare.
Yeah, not my fave. Nope. None of that.
So, Claire, what have you brought us for your story on cereal?
Today we're talking about the Kellogg's specifically and how and why they invented cornflakes.
Well, and honestly, cereal as we understand it is what I saw and stuff, is that they basically started cereal.
Right. Yeah.
Which was maybe not their intention. But here we are. Thank you, Kellogg,
not
for my
totally,
Captain Crunch.
No. Yeah, right. So I first heard about this watching Adam Runs Everything. And I remembered it because I'd watched it a while ago. And then when we got cereal, I was like, this is what I'm doing. And then I dived into it and then I regretted my decision.
Yep, those nightmares are yours and yours alone.
Right. Started out with Adam Ruins Everything. And so Wikipedia, dailycosts.com, Britannica.com, and Forbes.com is where I got my stuff. So, cornflakes. It's a staple at, breakfast tables.
It's true.
In fact, I think it's still like the number one selling cereal. Has been for like a century.
That's so unfortunate when you think about it.
Right. But it was developed in 1898. So before we get to that, the Kellogg's at the time were John Kellogg and William Keith, but all the things I saw called him W.K. Kellogg. So John and W.K. Kellogg, they're brothers.
That's good. Let's drop the Keith
And
out of there as much as we can.
right. So they were running a sanitarium
As one does.
slash spa is what it said. And I'm just like, what? Sanitarium slash spa? I didn't think those went together, but whatever. And sanitarium slash health spa in Battle Creek, Michigan. And John was, I guess, the head of it. He was the superintendent, and his brother WK was the bookkeeper. And at the sanitarium, the treatments that they did were hot and cold baths, hydrotherapy, which also included water enemas, because that sounds fun. Right. Yeah, I know. Electrocurrent therapy.
Oh God. So torture.
Right. Yes. Light therapy, both natural and artificial, and a routine of exercise and massage.
Okay.
Because after you get your water enema, you need a massage.
Damn, you do. You do. You absolutely need a massage after a water enema. Oh God.
Gosh. I know. It's just like, what?
Nightmares. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So some famous patients who stayed and went to the spa there were President Warren G. Harding, actor Johnny Weissmuller. He was the first Tarzan.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know who that is.
Like back in maybe not the first, but he was the black and white Tarzan movies. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, Dad has made me watch them. That's why I know this name.
Joe, really? Like, why? There's so many other options. Joe.
Quick side note about that. So we're watching this. It's on TV, mind you. This is not a videotape. This was not rented from the store. It was on cable television. Dad's like, oh, here's Tarzan. And I think it's one of the first ones. Anyway, it was Johnny Weissmuller. And it's like right when he meets Jane, and he picks her up and he throws her in the river. But when he drops her, he pulls her dress off so she's naked in the river. And there's this whole scene of her swimming around in the water, full frontal nudity. And Mom and Dad are dying because Mom was like, they're like, this didn't happen when we watched it. And so I remember there was one time we were in the car and I looked up and there are two versions of that movie. One where that happens, which happened to be the one that my brother and I saw when we were kids. I mean, full frontal bush and all. I mean, it was insane. And like Mom and Dad are having panic attacks.
I love so much that your parents accidentally showed you porn.
It was insane.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
There was like one
I would like to go back and say, good job, Joe and Diane. That's one of the greatest, like, totally accidental, unintentional parenting, like, fails that you're like, this wasn't supposed to happen. It's amazing.
Because apparently there were two versions, and one, the prudish version that did not show any of that, was released in the US, and then the risque version was released elsewhere. Oh my gosh. So anyway, yeah, Mom and Dad having panic attacks, and then they're like, this was the 1950s. Why is this happening? Mom's like, they would have never shown this in the movie theater. Like, they're both. So then, now later we were reminiscing about that. It's like, do you remember that? That wasn't just like something I created in my brain. And Mom's like, oh no, I remember. So that, to pull up my phone and looked on Google, and it was like, oh, so there were two versions. That's why. That's why Walt and I saw like full frontal nudity as children.
I can just imagine like your parents just like shocked and then trying to like cover the TV. Don't look at it.
Yes, the mom is like, Joe, like turn it off. Oh crap. Anyway,
it's amazing. That's an excellent story. I love that. That's amazing.
So, Henry Ford
Mhm.
also stayed at the sanitarium. Amelia Earhart, Sojourner Truth, and Mary Todd Lincoln
Well,
all
I'm
all had stays at the sanitarium slash health spa.
just gonna say that Mary Todd Lincoln and Amelia Earhart didn't really have really great endings, so maybe.
Right.
uh,
And I wonder if, because I think if I remember correctly, Johnny Weissmuller was gay, so
Oh,
that might have been why
he
he
was
had
being
stayed
quote
there
unquote
too.
treated.
Probably would be my guess.
Hmm.
But so both Kellogg's were Seventh Day Adventists, and the SDA Church is very into Bible literalism.
Yeah, God
So,
hate.
and they take the whole your body is a temple to like next level.
Oh.
So they forbid caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine, and they have strict vegetarian diets.
Oh, I don't know that I knew that
Yeah.
about Seventh Day Adventists.
Yes.
I just didn't know. Cool. I mean,
Now I know a lot of people who are Seventh Day Adventists, but they don't really adhere to, especially the vegetarianism. But I do know when they have events at the church,
they're vegetarian.
usually those like potlucks, those are
Hmm.
vegetarian. So
I mean,
they do like that's a
I'm
group.
okay with
Because I
most
guess
of
it's more
that.
like it's your
Yeah,
choice.
I'm okay
Yeah.
with most of that.
I-
I don't want to give up my caffeine because I'm sorry, guys, but like I am a wonderful blend of my parents. I love coffee and tea. I
Same.
need them both,
Same.
okay? I like the caffeine.
Right.
It's great. It's fine. It's how I get through
Yes.
my life.
Yes.
Huh?
But anyway, so his religion heavily influenced many of the treatments at the sanitarium slash day spa.
Cool.
And yeah. So John was very extreme in taking the purity of the body literally. And he believed sex was an impure act. Especially, and this is what it said, the self-pollution of masturbation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So
if you masturbate, you self-pollute
the
yourself.
self-pollution. Well, at least everybody is self-polluted. Like he didn't like boys are self-polluted or girls are self-polluted. If you masturbate, you're self-polluted. That's just it.
Right.
I'll at least give them that.
Exactly.
Like, well, everyone then. I mean,
So,
you're wrong,
yes.
but sure.
Right. You're
At
just
least
like,
you're being equally wrong. You know, you're
right. Yes. It's just everybody is evil.
No touchies.
And even though he was married, he said he never consummated the
What?
union. And that he and his wife slept in separate bedrooms and they adopted all their children.
But why even get married?
Right. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Is it I mean, can't you like get that annulled because you're not really married if you haven't? Isn't it one of those weird religious things?
I think
like
so.
Catholic
but
land
this
or
was
whatever.
Also like this was also like 1800s, so I don't even know.
I love it.
that.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and he
Sure,
was
honey,
at this
let's
time
get married and then I'll raise children that we adopt.
are not even mine.
Cool.
Right.
I mean, good for them to
Like
adopt.
you,
That's
what's the point?
nice, I guess.
You know, if you're gonna be that overly religious, what's the point of even getting married if you can't do the fun stuff? You know.
I know, right?
Like if you're that much into religion.
Okay.
But at this time he was famous for books condemning sex and promoting celibacy and the evil effects of onanism / masturbation, which included included epilepsy, mood swings, and dementia. And this was all part of a health movement called biological living.
Okay, I just want to make sure I've got this right. If you masturbate, you're going to give yourself epilepsy and dementia. So,
or mood swings.
Well,
yes.
I mean, I argue mood swings either way, because if you're not, you're gonna have mood swings too.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm gonna ignore that one and be like, whatever. But so, okay.
Yeah. And so, in turn, his treatments for people who like to masturbate, they're equally terrible for both sexes. I'm just going to
Well, at
put
least
that out
there's
there.
that. All right.
So for men,
Mhm.
it was piercing the foreskin with silver wires to prevent an erection.
Oh, I'm not a guy, but that
And
sounds horrifying.
right. And for women, it was burning the clitoris with carbolic
Oh
acid.
God, no, that's worse. That's way worse. I mean,
I'm just saying they were both
a
equally sound
piercing
terrible.
is bad and awful, but like you can just take that out. But like you can't undo carbolic acid. Oh God.
Right.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Yes. So another treatment that stemmed from the SDA vegetarianism aspect of their religion was that he thought that eating meat and spicy foods were responsible for an increased sex drive. So all of those were banned from being served at the sanitarium.
Okay. Well,
So that was like their diet was also part of the
so I can't
treatment.
have like my.
So they were not allowed to have meat or any kind of
And
spicy
that's
food.
stupid.
As the blander, the better.
Ugh. Is it just so that you want to die? That you just accept the depressing world around you? Like,
Right.
I love spices.
Right.
That's what makes the world a better place.
Yeah. So he served his patients a very blah diet of grains and nuts.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just like,
mean,
well,
so sort of just like peanut butter sandwiches.
I guess.
I mean, it's not really that, but like
right.
kind of that. I mean, it's
Yeah. I'd rather have peanut butter sandwiches than just grains and nuts.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
eh. But Kellogg copied this idea from a Presbyterian religious fanatic, Sylvester Graham,
Oh, good.
who was the inventor of the whole wheat graham cracker, which originally looks like a brick that you could build a house with.
Yummy.
I mean, seriously, like you'd break a tooth off of it. And that's what they said about these original cereals and these original things that were just like whole wheat, this and that and the other, is that a lot of it was so hard that people would chip their teeth on
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say, I think in something that I read, it talked about how cereal was invented because they would take like the brick and they would soak it in milk overnight in order to make it edible. And it was like, now you have cereal. And I'm like, bleh.
Yep.
It's a different kind of
But
overnight
Sylvester
oat. I don't
Graham.
want that.
Oh yeah, no. But yeah, Sylvester Graham invented the whole wheat graham cracker again to reduce sex drive and desire for masturbation because it's all evil.
Eat your cereal, boys and girls. It'll reduce your sex drive. Yay.
Right. So John Kellogg wanted to make his own anti-sex food because who doesn't want to do that? I mean. So
I just feel like that's gonna be a hard sell for like the general public. Be like, I don't want that.
So we started by mixing wheat and oatmeal and nuts and baking it into biscuits that could crumble into these chunks. And he called it granula. Make his
granula.
Yes.
What a terrible name for a cereal. Or anything.
Oh, but here's the thing.
Granula.
That name already existed, and it had been invented by a guy named James Caleb Jackson. So he was basically stealing somebody else's idea.
Shocker.
But
also, who named something granula? That sounds disgusting.
Right. And so James Caleb Jackson threatened to sue because he's like, excuse me. I had that first. I don't know why you would fight over that name, but whatever. Terrible name.
Right, but fair. But I came up with the terrible name first, so back up, bitches.
Right. So, he went back and he renamed it granola.
Oh.
So he also invented granola. Yes. So that was with the wheat thing, and he wound up, let's see, and there's like some differing
Mm-hmm.
accounts on who played what role in this thing. And apparently what happened was he he used the wheat thing and he got called away. He made his dough or whatever with his concoction. And so he left a batch of wheat berry dough out and I guess it, dried up. Instead of pitching it out and just tossing it, he went ahead and sent it through the rollers like he did with his other
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And that resulted in it breaking and turning into the flakes that could be baked.
Oh, okay.
So the thing that differs is that John's wife, Ella Eaton Kellogg, she says that she's the one who suggested rolling out the dough into the thin sheets to begin with, and that John developed the set of rollers for this, but then others say that John had a dream and he used the equipment in his wife's kitchen to create this thing that he dreamed up.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say she did. She thought of it.
Right.
And that he just
Right.
couldn't let her have any of that. And he's like, no, I
Oh, because
dreamed
he
it.
sounds like he's
I
that kind of
dreamt
man.
it. God spoke it to me, and I
That's
dreamt it.
right.
Yeah, that's 100% what happened.
Right.
Oy.
So then because it turned into these flakes, they're like, oh, let's try to do this again. And so he gave that job to WK and was like, you need to find out exactly what happened so we can replicate
Mm-hmm.
it. And WK and Ella, brother-in-law and sister-in-law, they were not crazy about each
Oh,
other.
well,
Didn't like each other. Probably because she wasn't having any sex.
Right?
That's
I
probably what
mean,
it was. She was crabby. But
well,
they
yeah.
always try to
But also
like
because he was probably a
minimize.
dick, because his brother was a
Right.
dick, so, everybody's
Right.
miserable.
But they would anytime they would talk about who did what, they would always try to minimize the other person's involvement and then boost their own. So it just says that they were usually at odds
Hmm.
with everything in this process and what was going on. But they did find out how to replicate it. And then the next time they started using corn meal in it instead of just wheat.
Hmm.
So the next time with the corn, when they rolled it through and did all that, and it was thinner, I guess, than the wheat anyway, uh, used the same process with the drying it out and rolling it through, and baking it, and that's how cornflakes were born.
Hmm.
That was the start of cornflakes.
The more you know.
So, yes, kind of an accident, kind of not. Like they were looking for something, but maybe not that specifically. So, cornflakes. Ta-da!
Wow.
And John immediately started serving cornflakes and added it to the menu at the sanitarium in hopes of cleansing the people there and killing all sex drives. But thank you to WK, who was less of a religious zealot and better at business than John was. He suggested adding
Oh,
sugar,
good.
much to John's
Right,
chagrin.
sugar is evil. We know this.
Yes, yeah, because we're gonna call sugar a spice just
Yeah.
because of how he acts. You know what I mean? And he was like, "No, sugar will make this more edible, and that way we can market the cornflakes to the public as breakfast food." And of course, John hated the sugar idea. They argued about it, but John won initially. So they patented both things, both the wheat flakes and the cornflakes, and sold them via mail order to former patients, and eventually dropped the wheat version. I guess it just didn't sell as
It probably
well.
wasn't as good.
So, yeah. But the cornflakes weren't selling that well either because obviously they had a very blah
Yeah.
taste. And John still refused to add sugar. He was just like, nope, not doing it. So, in 1906, WK wound up buying him out about the rights to produce cornflakes. And he changed the recipe, adding sugar, and created the Battle Creek Toasted Cornflake Company.
Oh, okay.
So he bought the rights. And then after that, he battled with John over using the name Kellogg.
Yeah, fair.
So there was like another kind of lawsuit, and he eventually won out, and that's when he changed the company name to Kellogg Cereal Company, which is, still what it
Mm-hmm.
is. And then they had Bran Flakes in 1915 after the Corn Flakes, and then after that it was Rice Krispies were added in 1927.
Woohoo! They're shot
And,
from a gun.
and not, right, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
But
Good
is that
grief.
not the most American thing that you in the world?
Oh my
It's shot
gosh,
from
you
a
were
gun.
not
Let's
wrong
eat
about
that. No, okay.
Right.
Oh my
Just like, what
god.
is this? And so in 1930, Kellogg was the largest cereal maker in the world, and its biggest competition was Post Cereal Company, founded by C.W. Post, who happened to be a former patient at the sanitarium. Uh-huh.
Ah,
And WK claims that C.W. Post stole the cornflake recipe from the safe at the sanitarium, and then went and created his
well,
own cereal company and made his own thing.
obviously, they need to take a lesson from KFC, and they never have a full recipe anywhere, and people only have parts so that they can't put it together. Duh.
Right. I know.
Jeez. Rookies.
They need to talk to the
Rookies.
colonel. I know, right? And today, Kellogg's Corn Flakes is the best-selling breakfast cereal in the
It's
U.S.
sad. I mean, it's fine, but
I
it's
know.
not.
Right.
Mm,
It's not
no.
fantastic.
You eat them because you have to, not because you want to.
Right. So yeah, that's my cereal story.
Amazing.
So basically, for all you people wanting to eat cornflakes, just remember that they were invented to kill your
So
sex
they are. They're
drive
killing your sex drive.
and to keep
Mhm,
you from
mhm.
masturbating. Now, does it really do that? No, I don't think so. But that's why it was
Well,
invented, because spices are
it's because the
Satan.
sugar counteracts the effects, Claire. That's what it
That's
is.
right. Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Like I said, I bit off more than I could. I was like, what? Wait, what?
What the holy hell is all of this?
I know, it was insane. Just like, excuse me? So yeah, that's my cereal story for you guys.
Amazing. I guess
So
that
anyway,
means
now it
it's
is.
tarot time with April.
That's right.
Spooky, spooky.
Yes.
I would like to take this moment to welcome Zen Cat to our setup.
Yeah. Oh, he looks
He
so
is
cute.
so cute. I love Zen Cat. Zen Cat was a birthday present from Claire. I love him.
I know. I was like, I saw it and I was like, oh, she could put that in the tarot
I
thing.
love him. He's very zen. Very zen. All right, Claire, are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. A shuffling, shuffling, shuffling. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffles. Ah! Give us some good cards, please. Good cards only. Bad cards stay away.
Stop.
Good cards only.
Ouch. Right. No whammies,
Oh,
no
Lord.
whammies.
Please, good cards. Please give me some love. All right. Our card to start off the week is the Five of Cups. It's weird. We had a lot of cups last week.
We did have a lot of cups. I feel like cups are not good cards.
Our midweek card is Three of Swords inverted.
Inverted.
And our weekends with the King of Swords, also inverted.
So we had Three of Swords back with QAnon, and I think that one was a bad one.
Everything's bad. It's kind of the theme of my life in the moment, so whatever. It's fine.
Right.
That's fine. I am trying to learn more about tarot cards so I can do better than just read these little excerpts. But I'm not there yet, so give me time. I do know that sword cards are meant to be they're kind of a divisive, like and divisive might not be like in necessarily negative, but like it's to cut away things or to separate, which can be good,
Yes.
so there's
Like it can be painful but good in the long run
and
kind of
even
thing.
like not even necessarily painful, like just a separation, whereas
Gotcha.
cups are, I forget. So there's like lots more meaning than this stuff, so it could be completely wrong. But
that.
anyway, so we're gonna start our week. Good God. With the 5 of Cups. You have recently experienced a loss, or have had things not go according to plan, and are experiencing the resulting grief and feelings of disappointment. You may be having trouble letting go of the past. However, there's still hope. 2 of the Cups are still upright. Find it in yourself to forgive, learn from your past, but keep moving forward.
That's not terrible.
Well, and actually, it's
that
incorrect.
like
It says 2 of the Cups are upright, but 3 of the Cups are upright. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
So it's better. 3 of the Cups are upright.
Yes. Maybe the book was wrong.
The book is wrong. It's okay. So it's okay. We're just gonna keep moving forward and learn from our past. That's not terrible, I guess. We'll wait for the next one to be terrible. All right.
That's right.
3 of Swords inverted.
Oh, now the first time I don't think it was inverted. I think it was just regular 3 of Swords.
3 of Swords indicates a time of pain and heartbreak. However, it encourages you to use this pain as a lesson learned. Accept your loss, release the pain, and move on with the past behind you. Reversed, it means healing, releasing pain, refusal to let go, and loneliness. But it means healing and releasing pain. I guess it's pretty on topic with the first card. We got all of our...
I think you need to get rid of that card, because looking at my notes, we had that when we were doing QAnon, and we had it when we did Synchronicity.
We had 3 of Swords?
And this is the third, and that...
Wow, that's weird.
Yes, this was the first time it was inverted.
Well,
but the other ones, because I've been writing down so I can keep track.
Well, at least that card inverted is better than not inverted, so
I'll
take it, I guess. All right, King of Swords inverted. The King of Swords is a card of stern judgment and leadership, a card of law and order. It suggests fairness, logic, and a clear mind when making decisions. But reversed, it means misuse of authority, manipulation, mistrust, and abuse. So, cool.
Awesome.
So,
sounds like a fantastic week ahead.
Not our finest week, but maybe it'll be good in the long run.
Hopefully. Hopefully so.
Oi, oi. At the end of our last episode, because it was such a train wreck, an absolute train wreck with all the things that went wrong.
Yes.
At the very end of the episode, the last thing that you can hear me say is just, oi. And I kept it in. I was like, yeah, that's how it went.
I love it.
Oi.
All right.
All right, Claire, are we ready?
Yes.
It's time for the Wheel
of
Fate. What you got for us?
No
Bring
whammies,
us good things
no whammies.
and only good things. It's gonna be
weird / interesting things about your state.
Oh, that's fun.
Which was given to us by our friend Christy Joe.
She nice emailed in. To KJ.
Yes, she emailed in, and that was one of her suggestions, and we put it on the wheel. So, Christy Joe, you're the first one.
That is fun. Well, my state is different from the state I work in, so I'm going to choose my state and not the state I work in.
Gotcha.
Because it's better. I like my state better.
You like your state better than the state you work in?
I do. I don't have any reason for that. I just do. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I prefer being a Washingtonian.
That's right.
It's fun.
So, yeah, join us next time to hear weird and interesting facts about Washington
And
and
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Amazing. I love it. All right. Well, until then, you can find us on all the things. We're there. Just look at Brunch and Judge.
Brunch and Judge.
But please send us some more topics for the Wheel of Fate and any of your personal judges. It's fun to read. We just enjoy fun stories. And you can send all of those to
brunchandjudge@gmail.com.
Amazing. All right. So until next time, keep on brunching.
And keep on judging.
Bye.
Bye.
Brunch and Judge. Brunch and Judge. We brunch and judge everything and give you opinions that nobody asked for.